Today I'm going to be talking to you about something very important that not a lot of people acknowledge other than maybe hiring some professional organizer to organize your shoes or something. I'm talking about getting organized and having a really solid, highly efficient workspace so that you can be an excellent worker. So I'm going to show you 3 of my workspaces. Actually, I can show you 4. I've got my kitchen workbench, I've got my workshop outside with my tools, I have my sewing room, and I also have a greenhouse space. So I'm going to show you how I do this, how I get things organized. And one of the big things for me is that you always want to keep this area as clear as possible so you're ready to work. I know a lot of people clutter bug out, and I have been that way. I've been in really small spaces, but it makes everything more difficult. It's very frustrating, and you will find that you will procrastinate a lot more when you do not have a nice workspace. I have been able to work in professional settings, and professional settings always have a nice, big, open, cleared workspace, and everyone there agrees that we're going to keep this place clear, clean. Everything is put back where you found it, kind of like you learned in kindergarten, right? You put things back where you find them. And another big thing about me is that I try to keep everything organized in such a way that I can just grab and go. I don't want to have to take 10 things off to get one thing, because that wastes a lot of time. So to be efficient is a really very, very important, probably one of the top skills that you need to develop before you can get onto the other skills. That's why it's important to honor your mother and father when they say clean your room and tend to all the other cleaning, because those are all preliminary steps to move into the realm of being a full-grown woman that's able to get a lot of work done and is super smart and skilled, and that's our goal here. So I'm going to show you my workspace right now in the kitchen, and I'll show you the others. All right, here we go. So this is my main workspace in my kitchen. I created this out of 2 sawhorses and a bunch of 2x6s that I had. Maybe these are 2x8. I'm utilizing the space below. I'm utilizing the space above and the space above, the above space. I always utilize space above, coming from the ceilings. There's a lot you can do here. I have these baskets, incredibly helpful. I can just grab and go really easily. I've ripped up, for a lot of you who do the canning or fermenting, it's really nice to put all of your lids in a nice kind of easily accessible space, because that can get really out of hand. But I'm utilizing this space that otherwise would be empty. I like to have all of my measuring cups easy to go, and I like to have multiples, and I don't like having them necessarily in this way, all where they're bound together. I like to have them separate. So this has been over many years of working and finding what works for me. See here, I keep my leftover eggs and I crush those down, and I use those to bring calcium to the garden. I always use clothespins for a world of things. You can see I have bay leaf that I got out of Yosemite, and I've got recipes that I use all the time. This is my bread baking recipe. I also always keep a little brush of sorts to clean off my space when I'm working. I use lots of funnels of different sizes. Here I am drying some seeds, some asparagus seeds. So this is a very kind of big time utility space for me. And I'm always kind of going through and assessing, like, what tools do I need? What do I not need anymore? What do I use a lot? What do I not use? And it's nice to keep it decluttered. You don't want to have a lot of anything. It becomes overwhelming. But I also consolidate. I have a lot of my bread baking stuff down here, bowls, more bread baking and other baking, bigger pots and such. So this is the biggest workspace that I have And I always have a nice cutting board. I oil it regularly, keeping that in nice functioning order. You'll also see kind of behind the scenes here, I have other hooks up above, and I hang baskets and things because I use those often, especially when I'm drying a world of seeds or produce. I'm also hanging some onions to dry in the house. Actually, let me show you this workspace too. This is another workspace. This is my wood stove. This is also a workhorse for drying things. So you'll see that I have rigged up this copper pipe so I'm able to hang clothes that need to dry. I hang all kinds of things here. I have S-hooks that allow me to hang certain things that may be on a rope or whatever. But then I also have rigged this up recently. I made a video of how I did this. And so I can put whatever needs to be dried on this rack. I can also change this rack out for a smaller rack if need be, but this is the larger one I keep here regularly. I also rigged up this C-clamp, this old C-clamp, up on the ceiling joists, and I find that it can be very useful. You can also put hangers on it and such. But you can see right now I'm presently hanging onions on it. But this is important, especially in the winter months when I need heat and I need to dry things, because otherwise I can heat a lot outside. I dry a lot outside because it's so hot. Okay, let's move outside. This area, I recently built this bench on the side. It's got a top and a lower area, but I do like to keep this area cleared out as much as possible, and as organized as I can get it, but utilizing every space, every square space that I can. But this is my big work area. See, I have a vise. I have my plug system set up. You'll see here I have this little spot where I can just grab my tool and go. I'm not fishing around for it. I'm not wasting my time. Here again, I'm always sweeping this area, keeping it clear, because there might be metal fragments or sawdust or things you don't want to get in your next project. I have a whole medley of little tool bags. Here's my other, this is my main building tool bag. Anyway, this is a really important area. Of course, it would always be wonderful to have more space, but I'm extremely grateful for what I do have. And this is an excellent area to do all kinds of projects. I have another vise here that I can work outside. This is where I keep screens, where I do a lot of drying of plants when I am saving seed. But this is a really nice workbench. I have this outside, really great for the summer months, and I just keep it covered for the winter. So now we're going to go to the greenhouse. I just finished building this last, I guess this last spring. This works wonders, but this has been an excellent space as well. Now this is where I'm storing all my seeds. And I've got my mats. I will start up a whole bunch of seeds coming in February. But this is an excellent space. So you can see kind of how I have this rigged up. Got a bunch of different random fertilizers there. Got tools over here. Trying to be as organized as possible. Again, so it's like if you want a shovel, you can just grab the shovel. You don't have to sift through 500 tools to get it. Because there's really nothing worse than wasting a lot of time moving stuff around. And I've experienced that in just about every place I've worked. That the lack of organization and the chaos, it was too much for me to stand. So I have found that I have a hard time working with a lot of people because it's just too crazy. It's just, I know that I don't have a lot of time in this life. As you know, I was widowed young, lost other young people, so it doesn't compute to me when people are wanting to be really, waste a lot of time. I'm not doing that. Okay, so now the last workspace is my sewing space. I had the privilege of working in a professional setting at an alteration shop, some of the finest seamstresses around, and I learned some tricks from them as well. So I'll just start here. So I have a big space always clear here. I'm always using these magnetic strips. You can find those at Harbor Freight or other hardware stores. And this is how I have my workspace set up for my sewing machine. Again, I have another magnetic strip. I want everything to be really accessible and easy to grab. Bobbins, pins, oil, only the necessities. This is a larger machine. Probably the ironing board is a space that I want it to be as efficient and organized as possible. Everything easy to grab. I've got rulers on the walls. But you'll notice how I have scissors at each station because I'm not going to run around for one pair of scissors. So I've had these scissors for years. I buy the best and I'll have them my lifetime and I'll be able to pass them down. I've also rigged this up and out of the way so it's not bothering me. So this is how I do it. I keep everything really clean, organized. I put stuff away after I'm done. I've got a line here like I did when I worked at the shop. So it's nice to have everything organized. I have all my other projects ready here. And I love it. When I come in, I feel peaceful. I feel clear. I feel happy. And that's how you should feel when you walk into your workspace. If you walk in and you feel overwhelmed, stressed, and you want to get away because it's too crazy, then you definitely need to take some time to develop a really nice, clear, organized workspace. Take the time to slow down and do it right. I know there's always things that need to be done, but don't rush through this stuff and miss out on doing things well. So I encourage you right now, wherever you're at. Now, mind you, I have lived in places where I had one bedroom and everything was in it. And I learned to be highly organized because I had so many small spaces. So don't think it's like, well, I don't have space. Like, no, I know that I understand. But you'll be surprised if you're committed enough and disciplined enough that you can get yourself super customized, and even if it's just a tiny little spot that you can clear out. I used to put, I had these almost like door panels that were completely flat. I used to tuck them under my bed so when I wanted to sew, I could pull them out and put them on the floor, and then I could sew right there on the ground because I didn't have a lot of space. So unfortunately, there's no excuses with me because I've lived in the smallest spaces in California for years. And so I know all about not having space and trying to make do. So anyway, I really want you to succeed in this, especially you young women. I want you to go through your closets. Look how you have too many shoes, you have too many clothes, you have too many of everything. Or you have things you never use, or maybe you are realizing you're coming out of a season of girlhood into womanhood, and now it's time to put certain things away. Your stuffed animals, your dolls, whatever curio type menagerie you have, it's time to put that away and develop the skills that will make you the most useful and sought after, and you will be an asset everywhere you go. And we need young women to grow into skilled womanhood. So please know how important this is. You are very important to this country. And I'm going to do all I can in my power to pass on everything I've learned on my own and through very highly skilled professional people. All right, have a great day. Enjoy getting your space all set up just the way you like and you need to get skilled. All right. Get smart, get sane, get skills, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.